Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki
Jai.
Om Madhavanaham Sapriva Acharya Stotra Shashivan Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Guru Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Ananda Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Acharya Das Thakur ki
Jai.
Hamsi Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta
Jai.
Yadai Gaur Premanande.
Jai.
All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. Good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Devaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 4, Appearance of Sri Narada. Today's verses 6 to 10. Text 6. Kadamalakshida Paure Samprapta Gurjangalan Unmattamuga Jadavicharan Unmattamuga Jadava Vicharan Gajasahare Kadamalakshida Paure Samprapta Kurjangalan Unmattamuga Jadavan Vicharan Gajasamphaye Sahvaye Kadamalakshida Paure Samprapta Kurjangalan Unmattamuga Jadava Vicharan Gajasahvaye. Shailajamaji. Shailajamaji.
Yes. Kadamalakshida Paure. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kadamalakshida Paure. Samprapta Kurujankalan. Unmattamuga Jadava Vijaran Gajasahvaye. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Jai Shri Maji.
ശ്ലോകം ഒന്ന് പറയോ?
ആറ് നാലാം അധ്യായം 6.
കഥമലക്ഷിത അതല്ലേ?
അതെ.
കഥമാലക്ഷിത പൗരേ സംപ്രാപ്ത കുരു ജംഗലാൻ ഉന്മത്ത മുഖജട വിചരൻ ഗജസാഹ്വയേ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ.
Hare Krishna. Kadamalakshida Paure Samprapta Kuru Jangalan Unmattamuga Jadavat Vicharan Gajasahvaye. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. Milinda Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Katam alakshita bhare sampraptah kuru jangalan unmata mukha jadavad vicharan gaja sahavaye. May I read?
Yes.
Katham, how alakshita recognized Pauraha by the citizen samprapta reaching Kuru Jangalan, the Kuru Jangala provinces, Unmata, mad, Mukta, dumb, Jadavat, stunted, Vicharan, wandering, Gaja Sahavaje, Hastinapura. Translation. How was he, Srila Sukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizen when he entered the city of Hastinapura, now Delhi, after wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded? Purport. By his divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Purport. The present city of Delhi was formerly known as Hastinapura because it was first established by King Hasti. Goswami Sukadeva, after leaving his paternal home, was roaming like a madman, and therefore it was very difficult for the citizens to recognize him in his exalted position. A sage is not therefore recognized by sight, but by hearing. One should approach a sadhu or a great sage not to see, but to hear him. If one is not prepared to hear the words of the sadhu, there is no profit. Sukadeva Goswami was a sadhu who could speak on the transcendental activities of the Lord. He did not satisfy the whims of ordinary citizens. He was recognized when he spoke on the subject of Bhagavatam, and he never attempted jugglery like a magician. Outwardly, he appeared to be a retarded, dumb madman, but in fact, he was the most elevated transcendental personality. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 7. Kadam va Pandaveyasya Rajeshe Munina Saha Samvada Samabhutata Bhutata Yatraisha Saturi Shri Kadam va Pandaveyasya Rajeshe Munina Saha Samvada Samabhutada Yatraisha Saturi Shri Kadam va Pandaveyasya Rajeshe Munina Saha Samvada Samabhutada Yatraisha Saturi Shri. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shailaja Maji. Shailaja Maji. Hare Krishna. You are not reading. Bol. Jai Shri Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कथं वा पाण्डवे यस्य राजर्षिर्मुनिना सह संवादः समभूतात् यत्रैषा सात्वती श्रुति.
Hare Krishna. Melinda Maji.
Hare Krishna. Katham va Pandaveshyasya Rajarshirmunina Saha Samvada Samabhuttata Rashe Satvati Shrutihi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdha Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय कथं वा पांडवे यस्य राजर्षि मुनिना सह संवादं समभूतात यत्रेषा सात्वती श्रुतिः.
Yes,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Melinda, no, sorry, Uma Maji.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Kadam va Pandaveyasya Rajeshe Munina Saha Samvada Samabhutada Yatresha Satvati Shrutihi.
Right. You can read.
Kadam, how is it? Va also Pandaveyasya of the descendants of Pandu, Parikshit, Rajarshege of the king who was a sage, Munina with the Muni, Saha with Samvada, discussion, Samabhut took place, Tada, oh darling, yet upon Asia like this, Swattiti, transcendental, Shrutihi, essence of the Vedas. Translation. How did it so happen that King Parikshit met this great sage, making it possible for this great transcendental essence of the Vedas, Bhagavatam, to be sung to him? Purport is divine Sri Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam is stated here as the essence of the Vedas. It is not an imaginary story as it is sometimes considered by unauthorized men. It is also called Sukha Samhita or Vedic Hyman spoken by Sri Sukadeva Goswami, the great liberated sage. Hare Krishna Guruji.
Text 8. Sa godohanamatram hi griheshu grihamedhinam avekshade mahabhagas tirtigurvam stadashvam. Sa godohanamatram hi griheshu grihamedhinam avekshade mahabhagas tirtigurvas tat ashramam. Sa godahanmatram hi griheshu grihamedhinam avekshade Mahabhagas Tirthi Gurvam Stadashamam. Shailaja Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Yes.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। स गोदोहनमात्रं हि गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम् अवेक्षते महाभागस्तीर्थिपूर्वं सदाश्रमम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सगोदोहनमात्रं हि गृहेषु गृहमेथिनाम् अवेक्षते महाभागस्तीर्थीकुर्वस्तदाश्रमम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Right. Uma Maji.
Hare Krishna Guruji. सगोदोहनमात्रं हि गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम् अवेक्षते महाभाग स्थितीकुर्वंस्तदाश्रमम्. Hare Krishna.
Melinda Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। सागोदोहन मात्रं हि गृहेषु गृहमेधिनाम् अवेक्षते महाभागस्तीर्थीकुर्वंस्तदाश्रमम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Snigdha Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सगोदोहन मात्रं हि गृहेषु गृहे मेदिनम् अवीक्षते महाभागस्तीर्थीकुर्वं तदाश्रमम्। May I read the synonyms?
Yes, yes, yes.
He Sukadev Goswami, Godohana Matram, only for the time of milking the cow, he certainly, Gruheshu, in the house, Griha Medhinam, of the householders, Avikshate, waits, Mahabhagaha, the most fortunate, Tirthi, pilgrimage, Kurban, transforming, Tat Asramam, the residence. Translation: He, Sukdev Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked, and he did this just to sanctify the residence. Purport: His divine grace, ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Sukadev Goswami met Emperor Parikshit and explained the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. He was not accustomed to stay at any householder's residence for more than half an hour at the time of milking the cow, and he would just take alms off from the fortunate householder. That was to sanctify the residence by his auspicious presence. Therefore, Sukadev Goswami is an ideal preacher established in the transcendental position. From his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that they have no business with householders save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Such asking for alms from the householder should be for the purpose of sanctifying his home. Only who is in the renounced order of life should not be allured by the glamour of the householder's worldly possessions and thus become subservient to worldly men. For one who is in the renounced order of life, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's nice. Abhimanya Sudam Suda Prahu Bhagavadottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grinihina. Abhimanya Sudam Suda Prahu Bhagavadottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grinihina. Abhimanyu Sudam Suda Prahu Bhagavadottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grinihina. Shailaja Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अभिमन्यु सुतं सूदा राहुर्भागवतोत्तमं तस्य जन्म महाशैर्यं कर्माणि च गृणीहिना। हरे कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Maji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। अभिमन्युसुतं सूत प्राहुर्भागवतोत्तमं तस्य जन्म महाश्चर्य कर्माणि च गृणीहिना। हरे कृष्ण।
Snigdha Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Abhimanyu Sutang Suta प्राहुर्भागवतोत्तमं तस्य जन्म महाश्चर्यं कर्मणि च गृणीहि नः. हरे कृष्ण.
Mamaji.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Abhimanyu Sudam Suda Rahur Bhagavadottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Chagrunihina. Hare Krishna Guruji.
Nilindamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Abhimanyu Sutam Sutta Prahur Bhagavatotam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karma Chagrani.
Right. You can read.
Abhimanyu Sutta, the son of Abhimanyu, Sutta or Sutta, Prahu, is said to be Bhagavata Uttamam, the first class devotee of the Lord. Tasya is Janma, birth, Maha Ashcharyam, very wonderful, Karmani, activities, Cha and Grinihi, please speak to Naha, us. Translation. It is said that Maharaja Parikshit is a great first-class devotee of the Lord and that his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. The birth of Maharaja Parikshit is wonderful because in the womb of his mother, he was protected by the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. His activities are also wonderful because he chastised Kali, who was attempting to kill a cow. To kill cows means to end human civilization. He wanted to protect the cows from being killed by the great representative of sin. His death is also wonderful because he got previous notice of his death, which is wonderful for any mortal being. And thus he prepared himself for passing away by sitting down on the bank of the Ganges and hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord. During all the days he heard the Bhagavatam, he did not take food or drink, nor did he sleep a moment. So everything about him is wonderful, and his activities are worth hearing attentively. Desire is expressed herein to hear about him in detail. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Next 10. Sasamrat Kasya Bahyodo Pandunam Manavardhanam Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Dhirad Sriyam Sasamrat Kasya Vaheto Pandunam Manavardhanam Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Dhirad Sriyam Sasamrat Kasya Vahedo Pandunam Manavardhanam Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Dhirad Sriyam. Shailaja Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasamrat Kasya Hedo Pandunam Manavardhana Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Dhirad Sriyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasamrat Kasya Vaheto Panduna Manavardhana Prayopavishto Gangaya Manadritya Dhirat Sriyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Snigdha Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om
Yes.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasamrat Kasya Vahito Pandunang Manavardhanah Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadrutyadhirastriyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Nelinda Maji.
Hare Krishna. Sa Samrat Kasya Vahito Panduna Manavardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Andratya Dhiratshriyam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Uma Maji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sasamrat Kasya Vaheto Pandunam Manavardhanaha Prayopavishto Gangayam Anadritya Sriyam.
Hare Krishna. You can read.
Yes. Saha, he, Samrat, the emperor, Kasya, for what? Va, or Heto, reason, Panduna, of the sons of Pandu, Manavardhanaha, one who was enriches the family, Prayopavishta, sitting and fasting, Gangayam on the bank of the Gangas, Anadritya, neglecting, Adhirat, acquired kingdom, Sriyam, opulence. Translation: He was a great emperor and possessed all the opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything to sit down on the bank of the Ganges and fast until death? Purport: Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaja Parikshit was the emperor of the world and all the seas and oceans, and he did not have to take the trouble to acquire such a kingdom by his own effort. He inherited it from his grandfathers, Maharaja Yudhishthira and brothers. Besides that, he was doing well in the administration and was worthy of the good names of the forefathers. Consequently, there was nothing undesirable in his opulence and administration. Then why should he give up all these favorable circumstances and sit down on the bank of the Ganges, fasting till death? This is astonishing, and therefore all were eager to know the cause. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya
Shalaghaya
Chakshurinmelitam Yena
Brahmanidam
Tasmai Shri Gurave
Shri
Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mahyam Dadati Swapadandiyam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivadapadagamam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagrajadam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhantam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Deshkarine Nama Om Vishnavadaya Krishna Veshtaya Bhutale Shrimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Daitraya Garbhavye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namah Madhuri Gojala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktiga Gaura Gaurana Shakti Vigrahaya Vasude Namaste Gauravani Murtaye Dinatarini Rupanuga Viridha Apasiddhanta Dvandharini Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sachal Vairagya Murte Vipralambara Sambode Adamte Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandamine Gaura Shakti Surubaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Bhavo Me Samnadeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha H.I. Goshai Kori Charan Bandhan Shaham Hoti Vignanash Avishta Bhuran Vancha Kalpadripaskraba Sindhubhya Padanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prasthaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakti Rupa Swarupam Bhaktavaram Bhaktakyam Namami Satyam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Govesha Dubhiga Tanga Radha Tanga Namaste Jayadam Sedo Pango Mamamandamade Gade Mat Sarvasya Padam Bhojo Radha Madanamohano Divya Vrindavaranyagati Srimad Radhanara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govindadevo Prishthalevi Sevyamanu Smarami Sriman Rasarasari Munshi Vadastasidha Tashan Veniswade Govi Govinada Shri Saptadam Jana Gauraki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami
Pranamami
Priye.
Jai
Vanchakalpadravishchava sindhubhyevacha Pavani Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnaya
Krishnaaya
Shri
Bhutale
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radhara Shivasari Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram.
Hare
Hare Hare
Yes,
Krishna Hare Krishna.
yes, it is better to chant along me when we do the pranam mantra, so that you can learn it also. Not simply learn it. By learning so, we get attachment, affection, and love for Parampara. This is most important. So if at all we want to develop spiritually, we should have attachment for our Parampara, a love for Parampara Acharyas. That is a must. Because it's a very rare thing. It's a very fortunate people. Because of our rare misfortune, we are able to come to contact with the Parampara like Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. And having come into contact with Gaudiya Parampara, we should not be satisfied with a superficial relationship. We should delve into it. We should try to read the biographies of all the acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has got several biographies. Almost all his disciples have written books about Srila Prabhupada. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami biography is there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also there. We should read all this. And then we know what is our parampara. So, in these verses, Kadamalakshita Paurehi Samprapta Kuru Jangalan Unmatta Moga Jadavat Vicharan Gajas Sahuaye. How was he, Srila Sukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapura, now Delhi, after wandering in the province of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. So, Shanaka Rishi is glorifying first Sudha Goswami, who is about to recite Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he had heard from Shukadeva Goswami. That was his promise. Sudha Goswami promised that he will deliver Srimad Bhagavatam as he had heard from Shukadeva Goswami. And the sages of Naimisharanya were thrilled to hear this, and their joy knew no bounds. And this was expressed, and Shaunaka Rishi expressed this on behalf of the sages by appropriate words. He very clearly praised Srila Goswami. First, in just one verse, later he will praise again. First, then he started praising Shukadeva Goswami for having recited Srimad Bhagavatam. The qualities of Shukadeva Goswami is given from verse number 3 to 8. Sorry, verse number 4. Verse number 3 is how Vyasadeva compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how he taught this to his own son, the great sage Shukadeva Goswami. The essence of Bhagavatam, the essence of the Vedas. Although Shukadeva Goswami was a self-realized person, he appeared like an ignorant person. Why he appeared as an ignorant person? Otherwise, people pester him, talk to him, and he'll be forced to, listen to them and then participate in their conversation. He didn't want to spoil his consciousness by unnecessarily associating with unwanted elements. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, Grama Bhashya na shunle. Grama Bhashya na shunle. Please do not hear what do you call it? Mundane talks. We are very interested in hearing mundane talks. What happened here? What happened there? What is our neighbor doing? What is the situation in our bank? What is the situation in the country? What is happening in that locality? So many things we are interested, and people start talking about this. We listen to it, and we also contribute from our side also. This is called Grama Bhashya. So this will spoil our consciousness plus waste our time, valuable time also. So one should not indulge in this. Only what is minimum required for transactions with others. To that extent only you will transact. Otherwise, what's the point in hearing so many things about our relatives? So many mobile calls will come from many relatives. We all listen to it, rapt attention. Actually, what we should listen to with rapt attention?
Bhagavatam.
Yes, Bhagavatam only. Bhagavatam only we should listen to rapt attention. Instead of that, we are very interested in listening to rapt attention, whatever our relatives are talking, whatever happening in the political front, the sports front, the cultural, everywhere. We are interested. But Shukadeva Goswami is very, very clever. He's very, very, he knows that we pretend like a fool, idiot, dumb, retarded. Then people will not disturb. Same way, Jada Bharata also, he acted as Jada, he's acted as dumb person. You'll find in the 5th canto. When you act like dumb, then people will not disturb you. They'll think, what is the point in discussing with this fellow? He will not understand what are we saying. We are saying great things, but this fellow is not going to understand this. So why you should disturb him? So this is a very clever ploy by Shukadeva Goswami when he pretended to be dumb.
And Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Prithu Maharaj also, when he left last few years.
Prithu Maharaj.
Yes.
Prithu Maharaj, he lives in the forest only. Now, after till the time was in this one, and the king, he was functioning like a king only. It is not Prithu, it is Rishabha Maharaj, I think. You're talking about
Rishabh Maharaj. Yes.
Rishabh Maharaj. Yes.
Rishabh
Prithu
Maharaj.
Maharaj was Prithu. So his realization was more nice, his Brahman realized person, and later he became attracted to the pastimes of Krishna, which he himself will say in that 2nd canto. Then the next verse number 5, we have seen the difference between Veda Vyas and his son Shukadeva Goswami. And that's a beautiful verse also. So many things are mentioned in just one shloka. A big story is being unfolded. So just see. First is they said Veda Vyasa are following his son. And then some girls are taking bath in a lake. Seeing Shukadeva Goswami, they were not at all perturbed. They were not disturbed. But when they saw Veda Vyas, they became perturbed. They became aware of their body and tried to cover their body. And then Veda Vyas asked them why. And they replied that you make a difference between man and woman. Your son does not. See, so many things are in one shloka. It's a beautiful verse. So that's the beauty of Sanskrit language. One small verse with 4 lines, whole story is contained. So Vedavyas actually, he is situated at par with Shukadeva Goswami in terms of realization. But Shukadeva Goswami was a renunciate. So a renunciate should now make a difference between woman and man. At the same time, the renunciate should be very, very careful with dealing with women also. We have to be very careful. But Vedavyas, he was a Grihastha and did not pretend to be a renunciate. Grihastha makes a difference between man and woman. So this was realized by these ladies, girls who are taking bath. And they said they have the knack of knowing this. That Shuddha Goswami was so pure that he doesn't know what is the difference between man and woman. In a house also, there is one girl who doesn't know what is the relationship between man and woman. Very surprising. Find this in this age. So in the 6th verse, Kadamalakshida Paurehe, our verse. So Shuddha Goswami, he is wandering from one place to another. He left his hometown, he left his father's place. Father tried to follow him, but he didn't succeed. But later we'll see that Vedavyas sends his disciples and they render Srimad Bhagavatam to Shuddha Goswami. Shuddha Goswami becomes very attracted, comes back and then learns Srimad Bhagavatam, then leaves his house. That will be mentioned later. Here, after this, he leaves again and starts wandering. So many provinces he will wander, and finally reached Delhi, which is called Hastinapura. Hastinapura got the name because King Hasti established this city or constructed this city. That's why it's called Hastinapura. So when he entered Hastinapura, which is capital of India, the city is very big and there are a lot of people also there. And Shuddha Goswami is wandering and he is not having any clothes. He's wandering naked. And Shaunaka Rishi is wondering how these people, these citizens of Delhi, will accept him. How they think about what will they think about Shuddha Goswami. Because he looks like, again, this repeated, Unmata Moga Jadavat, deaf, dumb, and retarded. Jadavat in lifeless substance. So Srila Prabhupada says, you should not measure a great person just by his sight, by just looking at him, by his outward appearance. Outwardly, he may be looking dumb, or you should not measuring by the kula he is belonging to. In Nectar of Instruction, verse number 6. Anybody has read this Nectar of Instruction?
No.
Yes, Prabhuji, I am reading, Prabhuji.
So others, they should try to obtain books. Few books, Nectar of Instruction, Science of Self-Realization, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, like that, few books you should read. Then, of course, you should read the Leelamrita of biographies of Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami and Bhakti Vinod Thakur. These are the minimum books we should read. Yes, Melinda Mata?
Yes, Prabhuji, I was just trying to say that I also read the Nectar of Instruction.
Huh?
I also read the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhuji.
You
I
have
did
read?
read it, yes.
Yeah, good, very good. So you'll remember verse number 6. Dishtei Subhava Janite Babuzas Chadoshe Na Pragdatvam Iha Bhakta Janasya Pashe Gangabhasam nakulu bubuddhafena pankhe Brahmadrivattam avagachadi neeradharme. So beautiful verse. Next of instructions are only 11 verses. But with 11 verses, it will take you to the topmost position. Starting from sense control, reaches the Krishna Prema, Radha Prema. So, the translation, Dishta Swabhava Janade Vabhushascha Doshe. Sometimes these exalted persons may have some doshas in his faults in his body. Being situated in his original Krishna consciousness, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a born in low family, a body with bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. So devotee should not look at the body of the pure devotee as well as the family or the kula he is coming from. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. We say that because of past karma, we have getting a body. Suppose we are getting a very bad body, it is because of bad karma which we had done in the previous lives. But in the case of pure devotee, this is not relevant at all. It's because he is beyond karma. For him, all the karma has been destroyed. Karmani nirdhari kinducha bhakti bhajam. So he is not what it goes, I mean, undergoing reactions of the karma in terms of his diseased or broken body. No. And the very simile is given here. Is exactly like the waters of Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy seasons are full of bubbles, form and bud. Bubbles, form and bud. It's called Bubuda Fena Pankhe. Bubuda Fena Pankhe. But Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Many people say that Yamuna water is very dirty, polluted. You should not take bath. You should not take. But there are places. When we are not very advanced, we may think in terms of sanity and this pollution and all that, and we may hesitate to take bath. ISKCON, of course, will not force devotees. Prabhupada also will not force anybody. But when you become advanced, then you will not consider these things. Same way, here it is mentioned that Srila Prabhupada says you should not judge a person by sight. You should judge a person by listening to him. What he speaks is very important. And how he speaks also is important. In previous verse, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that original verse should not be changed. That means the truth which is coming handed out from Parambara, it should not be changed at all. So what is being spoken is very important. And how it is spoken sometimes depends upon the conditions, circumstances, situations, time, place, and circumstances. All these things are there. Accordingly, you may have to present it in a manner which should be understood by the listeners. So some freedom is there for how you speak. But mostly, we should listen to what is being said. It is also said that in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 2.54, Srila Prabhupada says that a fool is not recognized till he opens his mouth. A well-dressed fool. People may be very well dressed And you may think that he's a very extraordinary person, highly educated, very knowledgeable. But when he opens his mouth, then we can know. So we should always listen to the words of the sadhu. In case of spiritual master also, we say that Vapu Vani, we say two different things, Vapu and Vani. Vapu means body, Vani means words. So of course, we can serve the body of spiritual master also, seat him in a very nice seat, wash his feet, make him very comfortable, offer a nice prasadam, and offer some nice bed for his rest. These are all Vapu Seva. It's good. But more importantly, we should listen very keenly to what he's speaking and carry out his instructions also. That is most important. So, Srila Prabhupada many times says that Vapu Vani, the difference between Vapu and Vani. Now, Srila Prabhupada is not with us as far as his Vapu is concerned, but his Vani is very much loving, always. So, we worship Srila Prabhupada on account of his words, the books which he has written. And we carry out his instructions also in all respect. Whatever instructions given in any subject matter on topics of Bhagavad, Bhagavad Gita, and Guru Tattva, everything we should meticulously follow. Especially Guru Tattva, order of Srila Prabhupada is say 1977. That should be meticulously followed. Unfortunately, was not followed in ISKCON. So many problems arise. That's later we'll see. So it is a duty of a well-advanced person to recognize a pure devotee by what he's speaking and not how he's looking. So this is very relevant here. And outwardly, Shukadeva Goswami appeared to be very dumb, dull, retarded, everything. But inwardly, he was a very, very advanced, totally advanced person. Highest is one of the Maharajas also. So Kadamba Pandaya said Rajashe Munina Saha Sammada Samabhuta Tada Pitresha Satudeshu. And how come, having wandered into Hastinapuri, how come he met the king of Hastinapuri, Parishit Maharaj? What was occasion? How it happened that Shukadeva Goswami met Parishit Maharaj? And the conversation was there, Sammadam was there. Sammadam, Samabhut took place. Conversation took place between Parishit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. How it happened? Shravana Goswami is very interested in knowing this. And here, Srila Prabhupada says, Yatresha Satudi Shruti. It is considered as Satudi Shruti means essence of Shruti. Essence of Shruti. Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be essence of Vedas. That we know the second verse of first chapter itself very clearly is mentioned, isn't it? Nigama kalpadaro galida bhalam Shugamugar Amrita
Samyutam
Pipada
Bhagavatam Samalayam
Mahalaya
Muhuraho
Muhuraho
Rasiya
Vibhavaka.
Very good. Everybody knows. So it is Nigama Kalpadaro Galida Balam is most ripened fruit of Vedas. We should be absolutely convinced about this. It is a fact. So again, Shaunaka Rishi is wondering how come Shuri Goswami is coming over to Delhi and meeting Parishit Maharaj and sitting with him for hours together, days together. How is it possible? Because that is not normally a practice of Shuri Goswami. What is his practice? That is given next verse. Sa godahana matram hi griheshu grahamedinam avekshade mahabhagas tirtha guryadashramam. Tirthi guryadashramam. Shukadeva Goswami was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked, and he did just this to justify his residence. Sorry, just to sanctify the residence, not justify, sanctify. Purify, you can say. So, Shukadeva Goswami was an renunciate. And how he renunciate, how he makes a living? By begging alms. So, and there's a particular word for this, how they are doing this. Normally, this renunciate, they'll go to only 3 or 4 houses. If they don't get any alms, any food from prasadam from these houses, they will stay hungry during the day. May not take anything. But the real purpose why these pure sages goes to a residence of a grihastha or a grihamedi is because he is showing mercy on this person. He is sanctifying the residence of that person, of this grihastha people. So, Shukadeva Goswami is a very highly advanced person. Just by his presence, by just seeing him, one person can be advanced, very spiritual. He said that Ganges, the water of Ganges, purify a person, but take some time to purify this person. But by just seeing a Mahabhagavata like Shukadeva Goswami, one person can be relieved of all his sinful reactions. So it is called Tirthi. Tirthi means pilgrimage, Tirthi. Tirtham, when you go to Tirtham, you'll find Tirtha. Tirthas means water reservoirs where we take bath, all our sins will be washed off. But persons like great advanced devotees like Shukadeva Goswami, he purifies the tirthas. He even purifies the tirthas. So this is mentioned. Yudhishthira is speaking to Vidura. He is praising Vidura by these words that you are a person who purifies even the tirthas. Tirthas are supposed to be reservoirs, water reservoirs. When you take a dip, like Yamuna, Ganga, and all these places, when you take a dip in these rivers, you become purified. But these tirthas themselves are purified when tirthis like Shukadeva Goswami goes and take dips, take a bath in this Ganges and Yamuna. Yamuna becomes purified. Because all the sins collected by Yamuna and Ganges on account of millions and thousands and lakhs of people taking bath will be absorbed by the great personalities. So here it is said that Shukadeva Goswami will stay in the house only for half an hour maximum, not more than that. Then he will leave. Srila Prabhupada says that tons of people, suppose you got a very rich man's person, some house. When we were in Raipur, it used to be like that. And every now and then there will be house programs, and that will be house programs will be, organized by very rich people, Vaishyas, businessmen. When you go to a house, it will be very palatial house, great furniture, everything will be there, modern furniture. Very great ceilings, all those lights, cupboards, everything so glamour, beautiful houses. Even the ceramics, the taps and everything will be like golden. So sometimes it is possible that persons who are not very advanced, but who is a devotee, sometimes they may be attracted by this opulence of the grihasthas. And develop a desire to have one for himself also. So that is why it is said that you should not spend too much time with the grihasthas. After finish the program, then get out. You should not think about this house anymore. When you start thinking, then what happens? A desire will come, isn't it? When you think more, the desire will be asakti, isn't it? It is a slogan. Yayade Vishaya Pumsa Sangasteshu Vajayade
Sangas
Sanjayade Kama Kamat Kodho Bhojayade Krodad Bhavati Sammoha
Sammohat
Smriti Brahmshad Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati.
Pranashyati.
2.62-63. This happens sometimes. Because you see something, you see to go to some house, find the opulence, you see some maybe a beautiful girl, then you start thinking about that. Then you feel attachment. Then slowly your spiritual life will start coming down. So that's why you should not spend more than what is the time required in these houses. So Shuri Goswami is a very practical person. You have seen that why he became dumb, why he acted like a dumb and dumb person, because he doesn't want to associate karmi people. And when you go to karmi people also, it is only for giving them some blessings, not stay too much long. So Shuri Goswami, by his activities, by his this one, is giving us instructions that a renunciate person or a bhakta devotee should never spend too much time with the karmas. Because there's every possibility of Maya catching with you. And Srila Prabhupada says very nicely, for one who is in the renounced order of life, this is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. And now, after glorifying Shukdev Goswami in 5 verses, Shaunaka Rishi is glorifying Parishit Maharaj. Bhimanyu Sudam Soda Prahur Bhagavadottamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grinihina. It is said that Maharaja Parishit is a great first-class devotee of Lord, and that his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him. So, Shukdev Goswami is Brahmashri, Parishit Maharaja is Rajashri. Means both Parishit Maharaj as well as Shukdev Goswami are great devotees of Krishna. The difference is that Shukdev Goswami is a renunciate, Parishit Maharaj is a grihastha, he is a king also. That is why he is called Rajashri. But this is difference from material point of view only. From spiritual point of view, there is absolutely no difference. So Shaunaka says, we have heard about Parishad Maharaja is a great devotee. So much, about Parishad Maharaja's pastimes, his valor, his how he has conducted, how he has administered the king, his kingdom, how he has protected those which should be protected, like Brahmanas, cows, children, women, old people. These are the five types which should be protected always, especially Brahmanas and cows. Brahmanas represents the spiritual culture, and the cows represent the material culture. So cow is always regarded very highly in ancient times, from very ancient times almost. Because the milk of cow is so pure that it can enhance the spiritual tissues in our brain, stimulate them. And Parishad Maharaj protected all this, and those who tried to create disturbance, one who tried to harm the cows or the bulls, Parishad Maharaj dealt very severely with them. There will come in the succeed and next chapters. He punished Kali, who was harassing the bull and a cow. And Srila Prabhupada says, to kill cows means to end human civilization. To kill cows means to end human civilization. That much important is cow for the preservation of human civilization.
Prabhuji, I have one question. Is
Yes.
Kali a person?
Yeah, Kali Purusha is represented. Purusha, he comes as a representative. Kali Purusha is there. Kali Purusha is there.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So he comes, his spirit is called Kali Yuga. So that will be detailed in the coming chapters. He is a Purusha, a Kali Purusha only.
Okay, okay.
Right. So next wonderful thing about Parishad Maharaja is that his birth itself is very, very, auspicious. The birth of Parishad Maharaj is a separate chapter itself. And name Parishad Maharaj, Parishad also, is very, very closely related to Krishna. And his departure, death also is very special. So both birth and death of Parishad Maharaj are not ordinary, it's extraordinary. Both are very transcendental. And we learn about them, know about these transcendental birth, activities, and death of Parishad Maharaj, the greatest devotee. Will be uplifted, will be elevated. The Srinagar Rishi is very interested. Why we are listening to this? Why we want to know the concept of all these great devotees? For our upliftment. That's why we should read the biographies of all these great persons only. Not unnecessarily read the biographies of other persons, materialist persons. So Srila Prabhupada, everything about him is wonderful and his activities are worth hearing attentively. Desire is expressed hearing to hear about him in detail. And last verse, he said that Sasamrat Kasya Vahedo Pandu Nam Manavardhana Praya Povishto Gangaya Anadritya Adiraj Shriyam. He was a great emperor and possessed all opulences of your kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything? To sit down on the bank of Ganges and fast and pray. So, Parishad Maharaj was blessed with a great kingdom. He inherited this great kingdom from Yudhishthira. After Yudhishthira, Parishad Maharaj became the emperor because there was no other generation. All the Pandus' sons were killed, Abhimanyu was killed, no second generation was saved. So the directly came to third generation, from Yudhishthira down to Parishad Maharaj. And Parishad Maharaj, having everything in his kingdom, then he also administered it so nicely, so very nicely. So Shaunaka Rishi is wondering why he left all these things. If something wrong with this, something undesirable in the kingdom or the opulence, yes, then there can be some reason why he left it. He was left it at a very early age. So Shaunaka Rishi was wondering what could be the reason which prompted Parishad Maharaj to leave this kingdom and go to Ganges bank and evade death. Indirectly, Shaunaka Rishi is asking what is the cause for his death. So this is very astonishing, and Shaunaka Rishi and all the sages were very eager to know all about this, and Sudha Goswami is going to satisfy him by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Any clarification?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kalpavrivascha Vasindhuvi Evacha Vedanam Pavane Vaishnavi Namo Namah. Ananda Kodi Vaishnavandi ki jai.